So tonight for Vibes.com radio show we are with a real legend of reggae music. He has around 50 years of career and a lot of worldwide hit tunes. The original foundation roots rock rubber DJ Daddy U Brown is in the building. How are you?
Greetings, I'm fine, give thanks. Greetings to all Massive and crew who is now tuning in to Vibes.com radio show. Yes,
You know.
this is the show. And you will learn a lot of things that you never know.
Firin, Firin. So to begin this interview, would you please tell us how came your attraction for music?
Well, as a youth growing up, I just love music.
Mm-hmm.
And music was part of a lot of us in Jamaica growing up because our mom couldn't afford a television.
Alright.
And a lot of parents didn't have that, not only my parents. But radio was one of the main things. So hearing the music coming through the speakers from the radio, I fall in love with that. And so one of the time I even think that someone was in the speaker singing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's how I started to fall in love with music
All right.
as I grew along.
All right. Well, what kind of artists do you remember back in the day at
Well,
that time?
Well, now that I'm much older and more experienced and remember some of those songs, I was hearing a lot of American songs. People like Tom Jones, people like Inklabird Umperdick, people like Marvin, even before Marvin,
All right.
And Diana Ross and the Supremes.
Soul music.
Yeah, those kind of music. And then with Jamaican music now, we usually hear people like Ken Booth,
Mm-hmm.
Delroy Wills,
Yes.
yes, and the Hip Tones,
Mm-hmm.
John Holt, hearing those songs playing through the radio. But I didn't know where that it was Jamaican music, really.
Okay.
I just love music.
Mm-hmm. You thought it was American.
I just
Stuff.
think it was just music,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
because I didn't even know nothing about how music were made.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said before, I think someone was in the speaker singing.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So, by listening to those people and their songs, and some of their lyrical content was very catchy.
Mm-hmm.
And then my father has two set of children. My father's first wife
Okay.
has 4 children, and with my mom, I'm the first one. So sometimes when my father wants to give my mom a break, my father will take me out with him like he's going to have a drink.
Mm-hmm.
Like how a lot of people go to the bar and have coffee here in Europe or wherever. My father go and have a drink, a beer or something, and they had a jukebox,
All right.
and they were playing songs from the jukebox that some of them I could identify with that I usually hear on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
So that started to attract me more because instead of just hearing the radio,
Mm-hmm.
you
You can choose.
choose, but not only choose, but what happened is that I'm close to the jukebox,
Mm-hmm.
much closer than the radio, and see the record spinning,
Okay.
so that brings more interest, not just only the singing,
It
but
fascinates you.
yeah, because I usually think that someone's singing through the speakers,
Mm-hmm.
but now when I look in the jukebox, I see what we call a needle on the turntable,
All right.
rest on the record, and it going around and around, and and I started, all my interest was looking through the glass and checking out, and I see the thing, pick up the arm when the record is finished,
Mm-hmm.
it pick it up and move like a robot and put it back in the,
I
in
see
the
what you
spot.
mean.
Yes.
Mhm.
So those things attract me. So it's like the music with the action that taking place attract me more.
Mm-hmm. So since a young age.
Yeah, from a young age.
All right. And how were your first steps in sound system?
Well, now as I get older, while growing up in Western Kingston, because I was born in Western Kingston.
All right.
And at the time when I have enough sense and start to discover music, like seeing the records and the jukebox and the treasurized through there, because I was living at 37 Bond Street,
Mm-hmm.
which is on the same side
Okay.
of treasurized
So
through
just near.
just 2
Treasure
doors,
Mhm.
right at the corner of Charles Street and Bond Street. And I was living like 2 doors above Charles Street, which
Okay.
is 37, right? And like when my mom sent me, because Coronation Market was very close, down by Spanish Town Road. So sometimes
Okay.
my mom would send me down the road to buy a bundle of callaloo, you
Mhm.
know, or pak choy. And by going down the road, I would see passing Duke Reed,
Mhm.
but I didn't know it was a studio because it was a liquor store as well. So a lot of drinks and empty bottles out there. And Duke Reed had a sound, and sometimes, especially on a weekend or during the week, like a Wednesday,
Mhm.
going when my mom sent me down to buy something, passing, I would see the sound boxes on the corner of the street, and it was playing. So you know,
Mhm.
as boys, and I said I love music. So the more it's like I'm getting closer, and my interest start to grow,
Street entertaining.
start to grow, and by doing that, I even spend longer time to come back from the shop
Mhm.
because my mom expect me to come back earlier, and I spend longer time because of watching what was going on.
Mhm.
Anyway, by doing that and get warned from my mom because sometimes she's waiting too long. Why you take so long and thing? But anyway, that's part of life, you know. And while doing that, sometimes when my mom sent me out, it so happened that sometimes when I'm passing again,
Mhm.
I would hear people singing now,
All right.
and like a guitar playing.
So you see the
Yeah, I see
musicians.
actual people singing now.
Mhm.
What was taking place at the time, which I didn't know, it was called audition, but I didn't know it was
Mhm.
audition. People like Silver Tones and
Mhm.
other groups. I can't name all of them. I remember all of them, but some of the groups that Treasure Wild was recording.
Okay, so great musicians.
Yes, and
Mhm.
before I even see the musicians,
I heard about
I
Tony
hear
McCook. This guy.
before I even see any musician, as I say, passing down again.
Uh-huh.
It's not only the sound system this time, but I get to hear people singing naturally.
Mhm.
You know, like I'm speaking to you naturally. So instead of hearing the singing through the speakers
Mhm.
or from the record, the jukebox, now I hear people singing and I hear the guitar because in those days, as far as I can remember, I always, when a singer is singing, most of the time they have a guitar because
Mhm.
singer is the one that always make the rhythm track.
Mhm.
Even though I'm a DJ, I'm speaking how I
The one
grow
who
up
did.
and know it. Singer is the one that always lay the
Mhm.
tracks because the reggae business started off in vocals,
Mhm.
artists singing, not toasting like now, like even
Yes.
what I'm doing.
Mhm.
So by hearing these people singing, it get more close and more natural to me. You
Mhm.
understand what I'm saying? So I start to stop even more and look through the little door because when they call in the singer
Mhm.
and the singer go in, they close the door to for you to the singer to sing to the person that is listening the audition to know if they sound good, they're gonna record them.
Okay, you mean for the auditions?
Yeah, for the audition because that's how it usually go in
Okay,
those
okay.
days, as far as I can remember. And by hearing these people singing now, naturally from their mouth instead of hearing it through the speaker, it started to gather my interest more.
Mhm.
So I would spend me more longer time by peeping through the little door knobs and the holes and the keyholes and I see what they're doing. And, oh, sounds good. And I still get the telling off, the spanking and the warning from my mom as usual. But as boys, as children growing up, no matter what your mom says, sometimes you break the
You
rule.
just do.
It's not, yeah, you do. And not even thinking about the consequence. But anyway, that is one of the things that started interest me into music. Then my mom moved from Western Kingston to a place called somewhere St. Andrew, Southern
Okay.
South North St. Andrew. That's in Waterhouse, like Tower Hill and those places, Kingston 11.
Okay.
And while I grew, my mom moved there and, going to school, and growing up. Yeah, you see, because in Jamaica, you always hear music from when I
Mhm.
was a boy, even
I guess.
passing the bars, like the place that we call pub in
Mhm.
Europe and drink a beer.
Mhm.
Yeah, you always hear music, either the jukebox or something. And everybody have a little turntable or something like that,
Mhm.
playing the little
For people
records.
to
Yeah,
enjoy
because in
music.
those days, like we said, we never have television. So it's
Mhm.
either the radio and you start to love music, especially if your father loved
Mhm.
music. your father would buy a little turntable or a little stereo and have in the house. So, you know, these things start get me closer to the music, and by listening to it now. I had a friend, we call him Louis, when I was living in a community called Tower Hill, which is not far from where Uri was living.
All right.
Right? And Uri and Tobias was living more on the border of Tower Hill and Penwood, which is the same community,
All right.
but it's just a little different section. So each section has a different name. And growing up there now, and you know, with this guy called Louis, he's a little more rebel than me because he's a little bit older. We start to steal out and go to dances.
Okay.
And sometimes we shouldn't do it, but as boys, you know, in the Caribbean, you know, you go out and sometimes you come back home, your mom is gonna, because it's more trouble. You shouldn't be out there. But anyway, I started following him and listening to some dances. I don't know the different sounds, but after a while, as I said, my interest grew. I started to understand the difference of the sound name, like Tubbies, because Jammies. A lot of people don't even know that Jammy had a sound system long before he started production.
Okay.
Yeah, from Jammies had sound system from in the late 60s before he went to Canada to live. But back to my story now, what I was saying. So by listening to this sound system, going out with my friend, I started to know the different name of the sound, like Tubbies, Jammies Hi-Fi. At the time it was called Jammies Hi-Fi, King Tubbies Hi-Fi. And you have a sound called like Tipper Tone and some other sounds. But anyway, by following and listening to the sound, it started to interest me more now because I started to see the amplifiers that plays the record, and I see someone talking on a microphone now and putting on records, and you know, all of these things, and the party and everything does, you know. So I started to go around, and it so happened, like I said, Uri was living close in the same community at the time in Tower Hill, and King Tubby Sound was not far away. He was living in the adjoining community called Penwood. So what happened is that by listening to Tubby's sound and getting to see Uri and realize that Uri is living in the same community, sometime I would see him walking on his way from his home down to Tubby's. Right? So, you know, get me interest me a little more because I see this man and I hear playing the music, putting on the record, talking something, and the next day I just see this natural man walking. You know, it just feels good. And you know, when Uri make his first hit song, which was Wake the Town and Tell the People,
All right.
that's when my interest grew bigger now. Because the man that I usually see play this record, putting on the sound system,
He recorded.
he recorded a song, and I'm not
like a
on,
disc.
and the song is playing on the radio. So before, I usually think someone singing in the boxes, coming through the speakers, like someone inside the speaker, until I start to hear people singing naturally, until I start to see Uri playing the sound system, putting on the record. Then I realized that this man had his voice on a record.
Can make a hit.
Yeah, not even I wouldn't recognize it as yet, you know. But knowing that he made this record and it keep playing on the radio and in the jukeboxes, and I said, wow. And I see the man walking, and it impressed me more. So I start to listen more to Uri because that's the first DJ that impressed me.
Yes. And please, that's one of my questions. Could you imagine back in the days that the DJ will take this preponderant place in reggae music?
Well, at the time,
not just entertain the dance,
but to make records.
Yes, to make records and have the main focus of the audience.
Yeah, well, Uri was the first one that I know, because there were sound system DJs before, like King Stage, Lord Comic, you know, and
Count Machuki,
and those guys. But what happened, they didn't have a record playing on the radio station. And that's make the difference with you right now. And then what makes it interest me more, I get to see this man walking and playing sound before he make that song that becomes a hit that I hear on the radio, which is Wake the Town and Tell the People. And from I hear that now, like I said, I start to listen to his songs more and jump the jukebox when I go up the street with my dad. You know, and my dad would give me a little money to buy myself a soda. You know, some boys would buy sweets or something. I put it in the box and punch the music. And that's where I started out really. That's where my, you know, my interest started to develop.
Talking about U-Roy, so we all know what great man and singer DJ he was, but tell me, who is he to you?
Well, Uri, I mean, like family-wise or something like that.
No. Yes, what?
No, well, to me, Uri is a great inspirator for me because loving music is a good thing, and to be a part in the music, whether you want to play an instrument, sing, or DJ, is another thing. But sometimes you don't know what you must do as a person who loves music. So you have to get some inspiration from someone. And Uri was the one for me. Because like I said earlier, I saw him naturally playing sound system until he makes his first record and then start listening to his record. So to me, Uri is like my Bob Marley in the DJ section. You know, Uri is like my Pele in football. You know, he's my inspirator. You know, he's the one that let me realize that I could DJ, you know, or chant rubber dub music. Yeah.
Great. We had the chance to interview him a few years ago, and what a great moment. and
Sorry.
Then how did you manage to find your own particular style?
Well, by what we would say imitating Uri's style or copying Uri's style, because that's what my interests started to develop. Going to the dances and sometimes going to other dances that other sound system were playing, and sometimes there was no DJ, they only played the record and play the versions, you know. So me and my friend would stand up, even the same guy that I spoke about before, Louis, we would stand up there and like they put on one of Uri's songs, and they spin the 7-inch over that we call 45 and play the version. And when they play the version, which is the version of the song that Uri did, I started to say the things that Uri was saying on his song. And maybe I'm not saying everything correct, but it gives me a vibe.
Yes.
And my friend always say, go take the mic, man, go and take the mic. But I was shy at the time because I don't have no experience about those things.
At the beginning, you was making just for fun.
Yes, just doing it. Until one night, I can't remember, it was a Wednesday night, we was at a dance in the same tower on an avenue called Phillip Avenue. Yeah, and a song who always play on a Wednesday night freely, you know, where people can go and have a beer and just listen to the music. And he was playing, and just as I hear a Uri track, like I said before, and you know, singing back what I heard from Uri, my friend said, go and take the mic, and I decided to take the mic this time. When I take the microphone and try to say something, excuse me, I was a bit shy still, because people looking at me, and when people looking at you, you have to be conscious and positive about it, else you lose your concentration. And that's what happened to me. Yeah?
You wasn't used to.
I never used to that because it's a new thing to me. Anyway, I still turn like the crowd is there, and you're supposed to turn around. Instead of that, I turn around like that, you know, and do my little thing and do, but, you know, and then, you know, I get I get encouraged to keep doing it more and more and more. And then one of my friend, my elder brethren, who's a bigger man than me, way bigger man than me, was keeping a party, and he said to the sound system owner, which is a sound system owner by the name of Sounds of Music, that he had a little DJ, and he would like him to come to DJ at the dance, which that sound name is Sounds of Music.
Sounds of Music.
Yeah. And lately, as I get older, I get to realize it's Maca Diamond's father. The man who owned that sound, his name is Philip Monroe.
Okay.
Yeah? Anyway, I go to the dance at Sounds of Music, and and the guy named Philip, we call him Philip. And Philip like what I do as a little youth, and I help lift the boxes because I just don't go there as a DJ because I don't get no recognition. I'm just here, and I'm glad for the opportunity because I want to go to the dance. I don't have to pay to go inside, help lift the boxes, and they know that you're a part of the sound. And as I continue to do that, the vibes continue until Uri met an accident and fractured his leg.
Right.
I think that was late 1969, going into the early 70s. And
so he couldn't be present.
No, he couldn't come to play for Tubby's sound, for King Tubby's sound. And Uri was the next DJ that sound close to Uri. But he was a DJ that started to get popular because since Uri break the ice, making records by toasting from a sound system DJ to becomes a recording artist, it inspired other sound system DJ to do the same.
Of course.
Which include Big Youth, Ira, and many more. You understand? And what happened is that, it include myself. And what happened is that Ira wasn't available at the time to come and talk on Tubby's sound because Uri couldn't make it because his leg was in a bad position. And Ira was the one that sound close to Uri at the time. Nobody know about me. Only the little community people. So one of the brethren that work on King Tubby's sound system, he was living in the same Kingston 11 era, Tower Hill.
Okay.
So he tell Tubby about me. And Tubby said, I must come to the dance. And I went to a dance, and that's the first time I met Dillinger.
All right.
Yeah. And when I went to the dance and started DJ at King Tubby's sound system, Tubby liked what I was doing, and as a little apprentice, a little guy, lost learning the thing. Tubby said
like
yes.
Your style.
Yeah. I like my style, and it's close to like Uri, imitating Uri. So, and I started to go with Uri, and the rest is done. Yeah.
All right. Tonight you performed alongside French and even Chinese artists. So could you imagine back in the days that reggae music will go that big and that far around the globe?
No, not at all. And not only reggae music itself, but for me as a DJ, because I was saying earlier that when reggae music started to develop in Jamaica, it's mostly vocal artists, means singers. There was no DJ making records. But to see, as when the DJ section come in, as I said, Uri break the ice, and then to come into Europe and see how people respond to the music and love it like that, man, it gives me more pleasure and more energy to continue as long as the Almighty give me the strength and the energy to do it.
Okay.
And to perform tonight at the show, man, it was a joy. Even one of the time, I felt emotional because it's my last show for 2024.
All right.
And doing some of the tracks, the new tracks from my new album that was produced by my French producer, R.G.B.
Yes.
And knowing that I'm here with my French fans, I have to sing some of the new ones.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about this new album, but I want to talk about your label. So you've recorded a lot of tunes for many different producers, especially the great Bunny Lee. Then you create your own label, Hit Sound. So was
Hit Sound label, yeah.
So was it necessary for you to take the control of your works?
Yeah, well, it was necessary at the time. I do it because I'm learning other section of the business, and it was at that time it looked like fun too, and get you more engaged, not only as an artist, but to be involved around the studio and knowing more with the musicians making the music instead of someone make a track and call you to come and DJ on the track because the track is already made. But you wasn't there when the track was making. You don't even see when the bass line or anything was making. So started out my label after hanging around Bonnie Lee and recording for those guys and end up in the studio seeing what was happening. How I come, I decided that I would try a little thing, you know, because it was fun. So Bonnie Lee was the first man that gives me a copy of his rhythm that he produced from a Barry Brown song called The Youths of Today Are Getting From Bad to Worse. And then I recorded a song on the same rhythm track called Badness and Madness. Some may say that you want badness and madness. If you walk and chuck it, mean if you walk and try to bully people, you're gonna kick the bucket, mean you're gonna die. You know what I mean? That's and you know, by starting to do that, and I see that as one of the young DJs and sound system, the record shop was buying the songs. It wasn't a big hit, but they started buying the song. So other producers want me to record. And how now I make my first hit song, which is Weather Balloon, I went to this producer called Carl Patterson, who had a label called Black and White. And him and Tubbs was working together.
Okay.
He made the rhythm track of Weather Balloon, but it wasn't called Weather Balloon. The song that he sing on the rhythm is called Hypocrites. Ooh la la, see the hypocrites, them a gala. So while I left Tubby's sound system and playing other sound system now, I was one of the hot guys, as they would say, young artists coming up, young DJ on the record. Apart from Uri and I-Roy and Big Youth and Dennis Al Capone, this was like a next generation, which I was one of those. And I went to the producer and I said to him, I was up by King Tubby's studio too. And I said, Carl, you have a rhythm that I would like to DJ a song on. And Carl said him have a DJ to put on the rhythm already. He decided he had another DJ. So it's like he's telling me that he's not going to use me. So I was working at the post office at the time. And like I said, hanging around Bunley and those guys, I get to learn to understand a little more about the business. Like, you know, making rhythms. And Trinity, bless him soul. Me and Trinity was hanging out at the time, DJ Trinity. And I said to him, I want to make the rhythm. So we decided to call Light Parks and some other musicians. And I went to the studio and I buy a 4-track recording tape.
Okay.
Because in those days were 2-track, 4 tracks. And I buy a 4-track recording tape and I went in the studio and I make a remake of Weather Balloon.
Okay.
Rhythm. And recorded that song for myself.
Okay. And then you did Weather Balloon, the album too.
Yeah, we did the album, and Weather Balloon becomes a big hit because the record was bigger than me. I couldn't press enough record to meet the market, so I had to take it to Randy's record, which is now called VP Records.
All right.
Yeah.
And some people might not know, but you recorded many great Jamaican artists as a producer.
Yeah.
So what can you say about that? And did you enjoy playing this role?
Yes, I enjoy recording other artists because producing myself is good, but producing other artists, I learn more, you know, and it involves me more as an artist and, you know, get to a little more understanding about how this business works, you know, and things like that. And it was fun recording. People like Al Campbell,
Yes.
Peter Metro, Carlton Livingston, you know, Delroy Wilson, you know, many more.
All right. And then you seems to have special relations with UK, isn't it?
Yeah, I usually reside in the UK one of the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. At the end of the last century, your career find like a second wind thanks to British label Blood and Fire.
Yes.
Reissue.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes. Blood and Fire gather some tracks that was released before but get lost because what happened is that a lot of people records that was made before, because there's new generation, they were paying more attention, but there's someone find out that there was a market still for these records and people want to know the history, and by knowing the history about Uri, Big Youth, they have to go and search for those records, you understand? And that's what happened. And when I'm in London now, Blood and Fire decided to come with a label to reissue some of those stuff, and they reissue an album with me called Train to Zion.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
And then you tour in Europe and worldwide.
Yeah.
And then you never really stop.
No. You see, the work never stop, you know. Can't stop.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
never
okay.
stop.
No, I pick up just 2 songs because we don't have more time, but 2 songs in your catalog, like, and I liked if you can tell the song story. I begin by Tu Sheng Peng.
Oh, how did I record that song?
Yeah.
Well, there's a brethren called John Kelly, and he decided to do some production, get involved into the production, and he came to Jamaica and was recording an album with Johnny Asberg. And the Revolution rhythm that Sly and Robbie made, it was a popular rhythm in the dancehall even before it released on vinyl. And John came to Jamaica and he said he wanted to make a version of that song, and he made it. And you know, we in the studio and spontaneously, I never take a pen and sit and write anything. It just comes spontaneous from my head like that, you know. And that's how Tu Sheng Peng came along.
Okay. Big hit tunes.
Yeah, it's a big hit tune, yeah.
Okay. I guess we missed time, so I have to talk about this brand new album, Still Chanting Rabadab, released with Irie Heights. So tell us more about how did you work with this project?
Well, what happened is that, you know, coming to Europe, especially France, and Trinity as my brethren, I think Irie Heights checked me about some dub plates or something like that, and we started to do that. And then by doing that, I came to France, and then, you know, I came to his town, and he started get a few shows from me, and by working together, the spirit developed. And, you know, because business is a very serious thing. And to invest money or invest in people or invest your creativeness with people to invest their money, you have to have a spiritual connection. And it's something that we connect. And he decided that he would like to do an album with me, so I accept. And we went into the studio and we chant on some roots rhythm, some songs that fit my era. You know, people like Sugar Miner, you know, Eka Mouse, you know.
Great caliber artist.
Yeah, Al Campbell, Cornell Campbell, you know. Those are the artists that in my era that I usually play on the sound system and recording Weather Balloon and all those songs, Mr. Doctor, Raw Fisherman, and many more. They were at it at the same time. So me and Irie Heights come together and we do this, and
all right.
So far I'm happy with the project. You know?
So you are, in this album you have old songs that make your success, and new songs too.
Could you repeat that again, please?
On the album we have some of your old songs.
Yes.
New versions and some new stuff too.
No, these are all new tracks. Yes. All new songs.
Okay, no, but I mean for your Can Keep a Good Man Down.
Yeah. Frankie Paul, Dancehall School.
And With Them Jaja, that song
With Them Jaja.
you already recorded that you
but that's a different chapter.
Yes, of
course.
Different
chapter. Yeah, different chapter. Yeah, because of what the singer is saying. So the singer is saying, no wicked cannot reign, and they've been reigning too long, so we have to whip them.
All right. To finish, album's name is Still Chanting Rabadab. So according to you, why this music style still stands strong and across the decades for music lovers?
I mean, after traveling around the world and touring around, especially a place like Europe, you know, I see that the people still loves it, want it, and, you know, they can't get enough of it like before, you know. So I'm here, and Jah work have to go on. Somebody else have to go on to the thing. Yeah, man.
All right. Right, Ubron, it's a pleasure
to
have this time with you. Thanks a lot.
Give thanks. Yeah,
and thanks for the energy and the show.
Give thanks to all the supporters, and remember, the new album is out, so it's available in vinyl, in CD and digital platform. So any style you want it, just link Irie Heights
Yes.
and you'll be getting it.
Still changing Rubber. On big up bien sûr Irie Heights, on big up l'équipe du Tamanoir. Un grand merci. Thanks a lot.
Yeah man, welcome, bless up.
And please listen and enjoy the album.
Yeah.
Vibes FM
Come on.
Radio Show.